Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. We're back for part 107 today. It is a big double header coming to you live from Kenilworth Road. The longest serving interim manager in history is carrying on at Chelsea. Neil Bathside will be facing us in the Premier League. And then as we continue an exciting spell after the October international break, we host Juventus in the Europa League group stages. Not the nicest draw. We've done okay so far. And you can see in the league, although we're not absolutely flying, we're not doing well by any means. We are well clear of that relegation pack now, having finished the last episode in the bottom three. So if you're looking forward to seeing how we've got on in the last month and a half and what we can do today in two very big games, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. I am recording this in advance because in real life it's my birthday today, but it might be ruined by Luton Town. So please be gentle on me in the comments for this one. Hopefully by the time this episode's out, Luton Town, fingers crossed, will have wrapped up a championship playoff place. If you want to stay up to date for the rest of the season though, please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You'll get daily FM22 content from two long-term stories, including a head coach, where we have joined a new club this summer. There's a link to that one in the eye above, as well as the Twitch channel, where we'll be live tomorrow morning as always, the podcast channel for regular content throughout the EFL playoffs, and then of course the merchandise store, where today is the last day of the 5% off everything sale. Load FM5 at checkout, you get 5% off absolutely anything in the store. You can finally support the show as a channel member down below by clicking the join button if you wish, but thank you very much for your incredible support, as we've got a lot of games to get through. And one positive, as the stadium's being built and as we continue to build, and we might, as you can see from the table this year, miss out on Europe, the bank balance has drifted past 100 million. That's something we can certainly get excited about. Let's have a look at the schedule though for what's been going on. We are unbeaten since the last episode, but it's far from convincing. We mentioned the fact we had an easier run on paper. The two Europa League games were expected to be walkovers. Got a fright in one of them. We had a few league games that were potentially easier on paper, but as you can see, we've still dropped valuable points against those sides we were picking three up against last year. So you were with me for the Newcastle game where we lost despite dominating the first hour, and actually they're still below us in the table. We then drew 0-0 at Leeds as things continue to look poor. John Moore again had to save us in goal. A 3-1 win away at Linfield looks great, but my word, it was a dodgy hour. We had to bring on some subs, Haruna and Torres getting the 2 goals off the bench. Jovan then added a third after we'd been pegged back a bit, but it was far closer and far more tense than I wanted it to be. We did though back it up with our first league win of the season, a 3-1 victory against Leicester. Similar pattern really, 2 up thanks to Rickert, this time in the first half with his goals. But then a late nervy spell as Leicester fought back before Charlie McNeil took advantage of a goalkeeping error to make it 3 in the 95th minute. The shock of the month though was a 1-0 win against Arsenal in the League Cup. We played a relatively strong side here because we were resting people in the Europa League. Josh Hayes came in goal, did really well, and we actually got outplayed on the pitch, but Mario Ricker popped up with a goal. And to be fair, for all of their dominance, Arsenal didn't create a great deal. We then won 2-1 away at Birmingham, a big victory this. We went 1 behind early in the second half. I got angry, I went positive, and it worked. Abraham getting his first for the club and Ndu getting another. But unfortunately, Mario Ricker picked up a little knock there. Only meant he missed the one game though. That was against Alltac in the Europa League, and we won pretty comfortably in this one. McNeil and Abraham, the experienced strikers, had given us a 2-0 lead by the break, before Abraham added his second, and Miguel Coronel got himself his first goal in a Hemel Hempstead shirt. It was a little bit of frustration at the weekend, before the international break that is. A 1-1 draw away at Everton. We started poorly. At half-time it could have been anyone's game, but in the end we were unfortunate not to win. Charlie McNeil scored early in the second half. We were the better side after that, but we are maybe just missing that creative number 10 at the minute. We're not quite firing on all cylinders, but as you can see, the key since the last episode, albeit largely against weaker opposition, is the defensive record has cleaned up, and we're starting to see some form from Striker and Hanafan, and the fullbacks are fit, Delgado settling in. Is this where it starts to gel? It was the point at which we hoped it would, but let's have a look at the league table, because we have got a pretty interesting situation here. Manchester City are faltering again. They're down on 10 points. Watford are on 11. Tottenham 9. No one's really dragging away there. The only shock from last season is Southampton, who have got some star players. They had a poor year last year, but you can see they're bouncing back with aplomb. So that's going to be a very difficult one to break. But looking at that, even if we finish behind City and say get 7th, that would be a great year. It's not about, at the moment, Champions League, Europa Conference. It's about trying to get there consistently, become a European side. We're not going to back up the FA Cup win. I highly doubt it anyway. We snuck past Arsenal in the League Cup. We've got another tough tie away at high flyers in the Championship, Wolves. But I do believe that we've got an opportunity to maybe sneak into the top 7 again, if this squad can gel quick enough. We've got 6 points out of 6 in the Europa League, as of course of Juventus. I'm interested to see how that game pans out. The home one, probably our best chance of a result. But let's go and get into the Chelsea game. United have just beaten Newcastle. They're flying at the top. And for us, it's damage limitation at this stage. If we can get a result against Neil Bath's side, a man who's got yet another new contract as interim manager, then maybe we'll have an opportunity to get closer to that top 7. We could even finish the day in there if other results go our way. So we've got to close down Mount, who's still there. There's a few new faces in the squad as well. We're still restricted by that stadium for another year and a half. But what side are we going to put out for this one? Because Chauvin, struggling after international duty, got a heavy match load. The same for German Moreira. So I've made a couple of big decisions in there. And they are Danilo Jose, first start in the Premier League, has had injuries galore this summer. But he is going to get his first league start of the season here. And then Miguel Coronel, we bought a player like him in, so we've got that depth. And today we need him to take advantage by producing a good display. It means the full 11, in which Charlie McNeil's become the established number 10, is John Moore in goal, Jose and Delgado the fullbacks, with Hannifan and Striker as centre-half, Arlan and Du, Coronel and McNeil the midfield diamond, and then Mario Rica and Carlos Torres up front, both of them scoring the odd goal now, but Torres still only got the one against Linfield. I'd like him to break his duck in the league. Let's go and get into the first game at home to Chelsea. A side, if you remember, we beat 5-1 last year. One of our biggest wins of the season. I don't think it's going to be that easy today, but if we can keep the defensive record tight, fingers crossed, a positive result's incoming. And here we go. A few familiar names still, actually quite a lot. The whole back four is well known at the start. You've then got Kulusevski, Mount and Havertz going forward. But Reece James the skipper, Ruben Diaz, Upamecano and Wesley Fofana, someone we've managed in the head coach this year. Just looking to the bench, Marcos Antonio, someone again we've encountered in the head coach, and Lokonga, who's at Arsenal in real life. There are a lot of real players in this team, and there's a couple of others I haven't mentioned too. It suggests their star man is Lucas Barde up front, who I think is one of the regens in the squad. We'll have to have a look at him later. But hopefully, against an ageing side, after an international break where a few of them would have been away, you can see we've got a slight physical advantage. Let's hope later on that we can make that pay dividends. Well, I tell you what, we better hope it has an effect late on, because this has been the quietest 35 minutes we've had in a long time. Very good news defensively, but going forward, not a lot. We got one little pop-up message to say we're playing some beautiful stuff, but I don't think it's led to many chances. I think there's only been one on target on the stats all game, as Fofana's got the ball at the back. They're actually playing a 3 here, Chelsea. Ruben Diaz on the left of them, up to Kulusevski in a central role. Wide to Yusuf in a left wing-back position. He can take on his man. He's beaten one. He gets the ball across to Claudinho. James is over on the right, unmarked. This tactic is going to be hard to defend with our diamond. And you can see that there. They get in an inside wide area, but Mason Mount puts it over the bar. Still only one shot on target all game. That did go to us, but wasn't good enough to see. And at half-time, despite 60% of the ball, I think it's going to be 0-0, unless in 1 minute of stoppage time we can create something special. As Danilo Jose gives it to Ndu, finds Coronel on a yellow card there to McNeil. Torres into Rica. It's a great opportunity. Doesn't even threaten to hit the target. It's an awful effort. Goes a million miles wide at the far post. And that is a big concern. And similar to last season, really, the thing that hasn't happened in the first half of the year, I think last season it was Rica, wasn't it, who wasn't scoring at all. This time it's Torres. We just haven't quite got that goal threat yet. When it clicks, we then get 20 goals a season out of them, but just in that frustrating stage at the moment. As Delgado comes down the left, I've got to hope we get stronger in this second half. It's an old side we're up against. It's basically Yuffie experience. As Hannifan plays out to Delgado, we'd love to get a victory. It'd really kickstart the year and it'd get us confident into the Juve game, where I haven't decided whether to go first team or not yet. A striker is challenged by Kulusevski, but it falls for Ndu. There's three in the middle. Torres, one of them, swipes at it, but Upamecano gets a block in. It's a corner kick. Can we make anything of it? Gotta say, Scott Egan was a massive threat in the Europa League from them. We've missed having a 6'4" holding midfielder. This time it's Arlan taking it. It's away as far as Ndu. And here is Arlan again, right side of the box, to Jose. Finds Arlan. Turns his man inside out, but not yet found the cross, although he lays that into Ricker quite cleverly. It's back across the box again, but doesn't quite reach Torres. Good defending from Chelsea. And the one thing you will say for those three defenders they've got, they should be able to defend their box pretty well. They've got plenty of years on the clock. As Coronel picks the ball up again, it's a very long highlight, and he's found his way all the way back to John Moore and striker. You just hope it's going to lead to something, because we've seen over a minute of play here. We've not yet had the golden chance, and you know Chelsea can nick it high and cause us a problem. We saw it against Newcastle last episode. As Arlan finds Ndu. Up to McNeil, that's lovely stuff. Ricker's in, he's just onside as well. And he puts the ball in the bottom corner. The linesman's flag's up, but don't you worry about that. We don't often call them wrong, and I'm calling that onside. He just held his run. Oh no, I've made myself look like an idiot, and we haven't even got the lead. There you go. I'm questioning VAR there. I need to go on a Frank Lampard-esque rant, don't I? 0-0, 55 minutes gone. And Chelsea have finally mustered a shot on target, but this game is not that exciting. Well, with a quarter of the game to go, I think it is time for changes. We're going to go Tammy Abraham against the club it all started. Rickert will be replaced, Torres advanced forward. McNeil off for Marco Cordes, and then German Moreira at the first choice midfielder. Do I bring him on with a heavy match load? No. I'm going to bring Shane Leacock on. Very similar ability in the middle. Coronel off on his yellow card. A quarter of the game to go, 0-0. Maybe we've just edged it, but I don't think either team could argue at this scoreline, if it is how it finishes. Though we're back with 15 left, and we've got a free kick about 30 yards out. Good position for Arlan here, who hasn't taken many this year. That one's over the bar. I think he's on duties because of Moreira not playing, but he's not made anything of it, though. With the point at the moment, we are creeping into the top half and into double figures for the season. In terms of points, that is, certainly not goals. As Delgado gets down the left to Abraham. Good ball for Leacock. The subs combine. There's two in the middle here, but it's back to Delgado. The safe option taken. Delgado to the byline. Into Cordes. Oh, it's a great opportunity. Again, scintillating football, says the commentary, but if you miss from 3 yards like that, it doesn't matter how well you play in the build-up. Leacock's got himself a big injury already. Not sure what he's done. With 5 to go, I think it's going to be goalless. Not the episode you were probably hoping for. Certainly not the first game to whet the appetite. But surely the European night will be a bit more special. Hemel Hempstead Town 0, Chelsea 0. Not many shots on target. Not many highlight moments. We did almost break the offside trap to get a 1-0 victory. But defensively, much, much better. All of the back four in the sevens, we're starting to look confident. And I feel when we're playing like that, if we can get the strikers in form, if we can somehow find a number 10 in January, maybe we are going to go really big as soon as we do. For now though, it's on to Juventus in the Europa League. Back for a big one at Kenilworth Road on Thursday night. The Italians are coming to town. Fitness test time ahead of a big Thursday night against Juventus. And I don't know if you're going to feel this way or not, but you might be disappointed in me in a moment because I've decided I'm going to rotate fully. Because look, the difference between finishing first and second in the group is potentially one coefficient point come the end of the year and also an extra tie in the last 32. Now, with us having a young squad, an extra tie is not a problem at all. If anything, it's a good thing. Even if we do get one of the worst teams out of the Champions League, realistically, with sides like Juventus and Manchester City flying, we're probably not going to win it. And our aim, as a few of you mentioned in the comments in the summer, is more important to us to be in Europe every year than it is to maybe go an extra round or two in the Europa League. So the difference between last 32 to last 8 really at this point is negligible for us. Because it's more important even that we say win a Carabao Cup and get ourselves back in to European football next year. So with that in mind, I'm going to change this squad heavily, and I'll be back in a moment once I've got a backup 11 in place. And here we go. Because it's Juve and not one of the two lesser fancied sides in the group, I've not put the likes of Bliss and Watts on the bench. However, I've gone very weak today because We're going to give Terry Clark a go in the number 10. He's back from injury. He's actually rated the same as Cordes now. He is developing a bit off the pitch, so I feel he deserves his opportunity to shine. We've also gone for Jovan at centre-half despite having a little knock. Apparently there's no risk, according to the medical team. It does mean on the bench we've got Haruna, Cordes and Berry, all of whom wouldn't normally be first choice, but this is the first time this season we've had everyone fit after loads of little silly injuries. So our 11 for today, almost fully changed. It's Josh Hayes between the sticks. We've got Danilo Jose and Peebles the fullback, Jovan and Meyer the centre-halves. Egan, Leacock, Coronel and Terry Clark the midfield diamond. Egan in there purely for his height from set pieces. And then Tammy Abraham with Charlie McNeil, who moves forward into the attacking two today. What that means is a number of changes. Let's see how many it is in total. 8 from the last game. So hopefully we can still get a positive result. But this is going to be a test. Look, Rodri, Locatelli, Moise Keane, Darwin Núñez. The star names are still there. But again, maybe suggesting an older squad. Let's see what 11 they've put together. Well, a few new names in the team. So definitely a couple of regens, particularly on the bench. But some surprise names as well. So Eric Garcia, the skipper at centre-half. Diogo Dalot out at full-back. But the bench is where I'm most attracted. Ian Matson, who is currently at Coventry on loan. In real life, he is playing for Juve off the bench, as is Bruno Guimaraes, who of course in this save may never have encountered Newcastle. What a player he's going to be, by the way. Let's go and get into the first half though. It's a massive opportunity. If we do beat them, we have to think about topping the group, but with a rotated side, this game's a bit of a free hit for us. Our job is basically to beat the other two and get through, and see what we can do with our rotated side here. Into the first half at Kenilworth Road, just how much of an impact can this old ground have? We're throwing on the left-hand side by the corner flag as Peebles gives it to Egan. It's a good one too into McNeil. Header just over the bar, but it's a quicker chance to get an opportunity than it was the last game, wasn't it? We've already had 2 shots, which basically beats all of the Chelsea first half. But my word, what if we get 2 0-0s in a row? It's taking a similar pattern. We're having a lot of the ball, albeit Juve not offering a lot. Maybe being a bit more cautious on the road. As Egan keeps it in on the left. I've no idea what he's doing up there. But it's a great cross in, and Tammy Abraham, he's starting to look like a brilliant signing. I did worry about it at 35. He's about the only experienced signing like that we've ever made in this save. But at the back post, he rises all 6'5" of him and heads it into the open net. Not the best goalkeeping in the world, but Hemel Hempstead Town lead Juventus, who have been really disappointing in this game. As Buzio gets the ball in up front, that's lovely play. You've got to applaud that goal. Darwin Núñez finishes it off. The keeper was caught in no man's land. And just like that, we're back on terms. But 1-1, and we are just a better side. And at half-time, I think we have to be really pleased. We've had double the amount of shots, albeit the expected goals isn't great, but their goal was a great opportunity. We have had a lot of the ball. We're doing really well generally. And we have got freshness off the bench if we need it. One person that is struggling is Terry Clark, so we might even have to look at that tactically later on because no one's really performing there at the moment. But here's Jovan on the left-hand side. Gives it to Peebles and Coronel. Here's Scott Egan. Had a really good game again. Whenever he plays, he steps up to the occasion. Obviously loves having the armband as he gives it to Jose and Leacock. Here's Danilo Jose again. Lovely footballers. It's into Terry Clark. Almost made me eat my words there. It's a cracking effort from distance. But it does go over the bar. In the end, the keeper had it covered. And Juve have a chance to break, but what an effort we're putting in against a very good side here. I'm guessing the fact they're in the Europa League, that perhaps like City, they've had a bit of a fall from grace, but they're in here and they do not take the lead. Off the line, it hits the post, dribbles along, and Jovan gets there just in time as McNeil goes wide. Been a very exciting start to the second half, loads of chances. The complete opposite of what we saw in the first, as we put another ball into the box. We look so threatening from wide areas. Coronel goes back, gives it away this time. Peebles nicks it again though. Coronel finds him for a second time. Can we get the opening? We need to find that through ball. There's Peebles on the left. Back to Miguel Coronel. Into Terry Clark. Finds Peebles. 3 in the middle. Now 4 if you can get it in. Instead goes back. Coronel delivers. That is an absolutely beautiful cross. On a sixpence for Tammy Abraham again. He could end up being our top scorer this year, you know. Maybe he deserves a chance in the starting 11 because Torres isn't scoring. And Abraham, he might be 36 now, but he looks a superstar. As we've got another one into the back post. Mayer's header, I think, hit the woodwork. It bobbled down all over the place, but we're getting on top in this game. And again, against the older side, we're getting stronger in the second half. We just haven't got that extra goal to put it to bed. What we are going to do though with 25 to go is make a couple of subs. We've got Cordes who will come on for McNeil, who I'm probably going to need at the weekend. Terry Clark hasn't had a great game, so Haruna will come on for him. Whichever one of those is the best up front can stay up there. I think it is probably Cordes. And then Josh Berry can come on at centre-half for Jovan. I know it's a little bit of a risk, but we've got to bear in mind that Jovan had a knock before this game. It was a tight groin, it was a muscular one as well. And as much as the sports science and the physio teams have all said it's all right, I want to make sure we keep people fit, because it's the first time we've had a full complement this year. 15 minutes to go though, it's looking pretty good. I would absolutely love a 2-1 win with a rotated side against Juventus. But here they come. They're always going to finish strong. As Nunes in down the right, that's too good. Moisey Keane at the back stick. He puts it in easily. Not sure where the marking was, either for Nunes or for Keane. But 2-2 would have taken it at the start of the night. As it is though, a little disappointing now. So into stoppage time, we're going to encourage the lads. There's 3 more minutes to go. But overall, it's another fair result. A more exciting draw than the Chelsea one. But still, we've played 2 top sides and got 2 good results. 0-0 against Chelsea, 2-2 against Juve, and still a chance to come out on top in this Europa League group. Well, I think what we're going to do then is try and get towards December time. We'll show the final game in the Europa League against Linfield, because it's a bit of an all-British affair. And then what we'll do is we'll show either Southampton or United. I think United are going to be well away at the top. So Southampton at home, probably a more competitive game. But of course, that could be scuppered by a Carabao Cup quarter-final. We'll see how it all pans out. If you did enjoy this episode though, definitely signs of improvement. A month and a half unbeaten, looking solid against the good teams, and against the average ones, we're starting to pick up some wins. So if that's all looking good to you, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the performances, the players, and what can we do tactically with that number 10, because for the first time in this save, it really isn't working at the moment. If you want to stay up to date and find out how we get on, whether we can continue our much improved form, then subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM22 content. We continue our first season at a new club in the head coach tomorrow. The latest season of that is up in the eye above. There's also links to the Twitch channel, the football podcast and the merchandise store too. Remember the last day for 5% off everything with code LOADFM5 at checkout. But above my head now, I'll put yesterday's episode, which was a first game with our new club in the head coach. And I'll see you again here in a couple of days' time as we look to breeze through in the Europa League and maybe edge towards the European places domestically. I'll see you there.